1 year they've been here.
It's gonna be a treat. I don't want it to be.
What's up, y'all? We're here at Wendell P. Williams Elementary School here with the Wendell P. Williams 43-year, about to be 44 anniversary for the MLK Junior Parade. We're out here hanging out, kind of just a little fellowship, gaining wisdom, getting knowledge. All of our interns are here. We're so excited to be here in his presence. As you can see, we're having a fun conversation back here. Just like, on camera, the Raiders aren't going to the Super Bowl. He keeps saying it, but it's not happening. But anyways, we appreciate him having us here. Everything that he's been telling us and the knowledge we gained has just been valuable, just golden, and can't wait to learn more. And he's mentored so many people here: Tech Queen, Dewana Malone, so many other people through politicians. I believe the president of actually the Raiders. And that doesn't change anything. But so many values and things that he holds and what he has taught us since last year. I was here last year, just getting more and more knowledge from him, picking his brain. It's really been amazing to be here. So right now we're in our live stream. I believe he'll be with us. We have our graduation Friday. And we hope that goes good, knock on wood. We're happy to be here.
All right.
Good job. I appreciate it.
Do the audience know we're still live? That they're gonna be asking questions? Yeah, you're live. The whole program. We're doing a program broadcast. And this chair is in the way. Can you move that chair? Camera's rolling. Interview. Let them know if they can be watching.
So what we'll be watching, we'll have with our audience here for Wendell P. Williams. Here, you'll learn almost everything about him. Where he's coming up, very inspirational, and we'll go ahead and go on with the program. And anybody else has questions? Really talk to us a little bit about it, but yes, Lauren, go ahead.
How did this school become named after you? How was that process?
Well, I didn't really have anything to do with it. Anyway, this school was originally built in 1953. It was named after former President James Madison. And when I was in the legislature, I took on the task of trying to rebuild old schools. So let's say that I believe you can live anywhere you want to live. Got that right. So the people in this neighborhood since 1953 has been paying taxes every year, and had nothing but old schools. So the first solar power school, and things that we brought in a parent center. Many times, the first encounter that a parent has with a school is when the kid's been in trouble most times, unfortunately. So that relationship is not really breeding. So I passed this bill that said parents can take off from work 6 hours per child per semester to visit the school just to see what's going on. Not with something that's happened. You can just go visit, talk to a teacher, that type of thing. But anyway, it has natural lighting, 2-story design built, first in the state. After that, so I'm like, I'm gonna try it again. So I got Twin Lakes rebuilt, Maple Hogard, Rancho rebuilt, probably about schools I have rebuilt through legislation. So the school board member at that time, who was my mentor and principal, I was a teacher. She was on the school board, and she said, "Sis, we're gonna get a new school. His name is already in the harbor. Why don't we just change the name and name it after him?" And they did. And the other factor was James Madison, who was one of our founding fathers. He wrote into the Constitution that African Americans were 3/5 human. He also had slaves when he was a president, and his wife had twice as many slaves, Dolly Madison. So we had mostly black kids here. And I was going to a school that's named after a slave owner. So that changed. So the schools I had rebuilt are all design builds. They're all unique to the community and unique to their population and what they need. So it was like, I never get to it. I was at a football game when our school was playing. People was outside, go in the pit. I'm turning around thinking they're talking to me. It never sinks in. And I come from a family of teachers. My mom, my brother, everybody in our family were teachers. And it's phenomenal. It's the same thing like going back to my hometown. When I grew up there, we didn't have street signs. So you say, where does Mr. Lee live? Well, you go down to that corner, you turn by the church, see some guys playing dominoes, you make it right. You know, we didn't have street signs. I really didn't know which street I grew up on. And when they named a street after me here in Las Vegas, a reporter asked me, well, what street you grew up on? And it hit me. I didn't even know. And I researched it and found out later. Madison probably have street signs now. But Hancock Street didn't have no sign. I didn't know. We didn't know. But it just, here again, just prove where you live, how you live. And I love kids. I love education. And I was the first teacher to serve in the legislature. So education is my thing. But I'm very proud of it. And fortunately, I was alive when they did it. It doesn't happen too much. And this school has been open 22 years, so I've had a chance to see it. And I can also try to give things to the students and do things for our students. It's great. I only live like 7 minutes away, so I'm up here all the time doing things.
Are we still going with questions?
Mhm.
I have one. You said that you were very proud of that. Would you say that's what you're most proud of? Would you say that's your accomplishment that brings the most pride for you?
Gotta be up there. You gotta be up there, if not the. But I'm proud of. I met Dr. King when I was 14 years old, and he had such an impact on my life that I started working with him. I passed the Martin Luther King State holiday in Nevada. When I was a freshman in the legislature, I was able to pass that bill to make it a state holiday and family day. So when you guys are off the day after Thanksgiving and on the King holiday, sitting at home chilling, kind of think of me getting that way out. But that was a big one as well. But I don't really use them as much to talk because I interact with a lot of people do things with me. I love doing it. So something may be simple that I cherish that. It's not as big as this, but this is important. For me, like having my homegirl, I call her my favorite homegirl, having her here is just, I mean, she is a phenomenal student, a phenomenal person, and it's her second summer here. She's also here in January for the Tech Summit, and to grow up in that little town and to have someone, you know, who's living there now to work in something, we're working together. To me, it's very important. I'll never forget it. Yes.
I read that you're fifth generation of educators.
Yeah.
What made you go from a teacher to legislator?
Well, you can imagine that how in a place in a rural community where I grew up, there wasn't many professions. You know, we didn't see doctors and lawyers. We knew nothing about that. The only ones we saw were teachers. So a lot of us went into teaching. And again, I came from a family of teachers. And my auntie taught me. My cousin was principal, so we were all teachers. As a matter of fact, my daughter was teaching kindergarten here. And I'd done something else. I would have done something else. But when I moved to Las Vegas, I became interested in politics. That was like something I was drawn to. And I kind of take challenges. I like to do challenges. Like KCEP Radio. KCEP Radio, when I moved here, it was no community affairs talk shows on the radio. So I went to the station and said, I'd like to do a talk show. You guys don't have any talk shows. And they never asked if I had experience or journalism experience, and I didn't. And that was the first talk show. Yeah, you know, I just like to make changes that improve people's lives. My grandmother taught me that. Yeah.
Going back to your history as a legislator, what was the most difficult bill that you were able to get passed, and how were you able to get through? Because I know, like, here and everywhere where there's politics, it's so hard to get stuff through. It's so hard to get something bipartisan. So how were you able to get through?
Well, for one thing, being a Democrat, the Democrats were in control of the legislature, so we had the power. But it's always hard. Everyone is hard. So the most interesting one was my freshman year. It was the King holiday, and there were people before me who attempted to do it. Dr. King was he received high school education at 15, graduated from college at 19, youngest person to receive a Nobel Peace Prize. All those great things he did, it always fell on deaf ears. So I took a different approach, which was an economic approach. At that time, Las Vegas, on that holiday weekend, even though it wasn't a holiday, Las Vegas would raise their hotel rates $10. People were coming from California where the holiday existed, spending money in Vegas. They're going to shows, they're buying dinners, they're in cabs. So we were actually making money off a holiday that we didn't have. So that was my argument. How can we keep doing this? Do we want to really be like Arizona, who lost the Super Bowl because they didn't have a holiday? The Beatles reunion tour was canceled because they didn't have the holiday. Luther Vandross canceled because they didn't have the holiday. They were losing money. So my approach was how economically it can be an advantage to have this holiday. And ironically, over the years, so when I started it, it had 13 entries. This past year, we had 244 entries. And it's grown to the point that the Las Vegas Convention Authority streamed it to 9 million people. That's the technology I know.
Wow.
They streamed it to 9 million people. So Las Vegas is saying we can actually make money off this 3-day weekend. So, I mean, that was a situation that was hard, really hard. And at the same time, I was attempting to change what then was Highland Boulevard, which is now Martin Luther King, had that street changed. So it took 30,000 signatures. We walking every day getting these signatures. People like, well, we've got to change our letterhead, change our business, gave every excuse to do it. And now it's a major thoroughfare. It's a blessing. It's a blessing. You can make a change.
Any other question?
Those were good questions.
He has a
Wait. absolutely. Oh, absolutely. When I was a kid, my grandmother, I wouldn't my grandmother a lot because I love my grandmother. So I would be on her porch all the time, talking to my buddies. I was a little kid. I'd be on her porch saying, "Oh, I can do this. I'm a bad guy. I'm just, I can do this and this and this." My grandmother lived to be 115 years old. She couldn't read or write. But was the smartest person I knew. So when my friends would leave, she called me in the house and said, "Look, boy, you got to talk about all you can do. You can't do nothing." They said, you got to show what you can do. You don't talk about what you can do. You got to show. So I had to write letters for her because she couldn't read. She couldn't write. So I would write a letter. She dictated the letters. I would sometimes change the verbiage because I knew this was the right way to do it. And she said, "Read it back to me." And I'd read it back to her. She said, "I didn't say that." She knew. So we would have like events at church and little Christmas things. I'm sure they still do this. So I was good. So she was good at church, and she said, "I want you to learn this poem, and because this poem will guide you through your life." And I'm like, "Come on, you can't tell me this." I'm like thinking to myself. So she made me learn this poem, and she said it was about how you're supposed to do, not just say what you're gonna do. You do it. And it went, "I'd rather see a sermon any day. I'd rather that you walk with me than just to show the way. The eyes are better pupil and more willing than the ear. Examples may be misleading, but what you do is very clear. I can soon learn to do it if you let me see it done. I can watch your hands in motion because your tongue too fast may run. And the lessons you deliver may be very fine and true, but I'd rather learn my lesson not by what you say, but what you do. And the very best of teachers are the ones who live their creed, but a goose sees good put in action is what everybody needs." So I had to learn that poem, even though I didn't believe she knew what I was talking about. I don't believe it because I couldn't imagine somebody who can't read and write gonna teach me something. So I was like most kids, I would like try to slack off. I gotta learn this thing. Right? She gonna know. And I still know it today. And she made me learn that. She said, "You live your creed, you live your life by this poem. You live your life by how you do. And it doesn't matter what people say about you, because you get to heaven through God's yard, not through somebody else's yard. So you don't worry about what they say to you or what they say about you. You just do your thing, and that has always stuck to me. And here again, she walks to church every day, 115 years old.
Wow.
Like I was little, I used to be thinking like kind of embarrassed because every Sunday she walked to church, she dyed hair a different color. She's way ahead of her time, because nobody did stuff like that.
Right.
But it's the people that I encountered that changed my life. There used to be guys on the corner playing dice when I would catch the bus to go back to college on the weekend, and they would stop and say, "Hey, boy, you going back to school?" I said, "Yeah." "Well, take this $20. Take this $25. Even though they weren't going to do much anymore with their life, they still wanted to give to somebody who's trying to do something. And that's how I am. Because when you help people, you make God smile. I try to make them smile every day.
That's good. Theo,
Here we go.
So I said that you were in the state legislature from 1987 to 2003. I don't know if you were here before then, but what is the biggest change, either socially, economically, politically, from Vegas when you first got here to now?
Oh, it's completely changed. The casino bosses and the people who run the city, they didn't want anything to do with professional sports. They said, "Look, you're not going to do anything to take away from gaming." So every time somebody would try to bring a team in like it is now, they would fight it. They wouldn't support education. Things like what you do, people wouldn't support that type of thing here in Vegas because they want everybody to be ballet drivers, maids, bartenders, they want to. But little did they know that if you open up the right type of careers, you have a better population, which I can see it right here. You can imagine Vegas in the next 10 years, you guys are running the city. It's going to be phenomenal. We got virtually every sports team in the world here. But it is changed. It's changed. I would drive sometime. You could get on the freeway after any time after 9:30. There's nobody on there for you. It's a small town. It's a big city. Yes, sir.
So you said you met Dr. Chang at 14 years old. So you grew up in a time of segregation. How was that like transitioning after it's segregated towards like higher education or collaborating with different types of people? How was that transition from pre-segregation to?
It's like a prehistoric time.
Right.
So, my high school was the one school we had in the whole county. It was segregated, and cotton was king in the South. People made their money in cotton, so they would close out in the spring. The spring time that you harvest cotton. Our school would close at noon, and the other school was at 2:30. They didn't ask us. They didn't ask us if we were going to cotton. They never asked our parents or anything like that. We just lost our education in the spring at 12:30 o'clock every day. So it's a gift and a curse. When they were segregated, it was so tough that people got closer. And when that desegregation happened, it kept it was good. More people get along, but we didn't have the closeness that we had. But you have to be the type of person to adjust in any situation. I just believe that everybody is a good person, regardless of race, creed, and color. And everybody, we don't have to live together. We have to go out and visit each other's house and have parties together, but we have to respect each other. That's the only thing that Dr. King asked for. Just respect each other. So what you do and everything, that's on you. But I'll respect you, you respect me. That's not a whole lot to ask. It seems to be. God, whatever God that you worship, doesn't matter, gave us everything on this earth that we need. There's nothing that we really would ask for on this earth. But there's one problem, we just can't get along. There's enough for everybody. There's enough for everybody to do their thing. For some reason, we want to have hate. We want to have disparity, but it's a lot easier with love and helping each other, and reaching out to other people. I mean, I like animals, but I guarantee you that you have a big dog, animals on the freeway, 100 people pull up and try to help. Persons out there, side the road, nobody cares.
Got more questions?
We do.
Patricia.
I'm sorry.
I was gonna ask you, did someone ever do something that really stuck with you?
Pretty good.
Yeah, it could be good or bad, just something that really stuck with you that you think about it.
Yeah, I don't. Things happen, but I try to think about it that much. Some things happen now. This has happened today. I'm not gonna read the news. I don't know. It's so horrendous. I got a little term. The world is a ghetto. So I just don't. When people are mistreated, but no reason, I just hate it. People are disrespected and mistreated every day. Yes, ma'am. Madison.
Is there something for the youth that would make them successful in the future?
Obviously, most things are school shootings. School, I mean, seems too. I mean, you gotta, and I wish every child had enough to eat before they go to bed and before they get up in the morning. How do you learn when you haven't, had anything to eat at night and next morning you haven't? And people should be judged on who they are, not what type of sneakers they have on and all this type of stuff. They get bullied for it. It's crazy. I mean, people can't, like in my day, you can't keep saying back in the day, but like when the bell would ring and we changed class, we'd have to walk down the hallway in a line, go around, circle around. We didn't talk. You see your teacher on the weekend, even now. Once my friends and I, we were uptown and we see our teacher, we'd almost run. There's so much respect that we had for him. And, that now, who knows what they'll say to a teacher. But we got to do something to improve it. I guess it's up to you guys.
I know one of my proudest moments when I first went to the Capitol, not DC, but when I first went to Carson City, and I went to the Capitol some years back. I don't know. My proudest moment, it's like you have the whole. How many been to the Capitol up here? Maybe I need to. So y'all know when you come up the stairs, you see that whole wall full of people and the years they served in office and all that. Wendell took up almost like the whole wall. I see his picture here. So as I walked, I was like, dang, I was so proud. It didn't really hit me. Now here I go. I had been around this man since I was y'all age, right? It never hit me till probably I was in my 30s, and I'm way beyond. I'm almost double that. It never really hit me of how big, because he just Wendell to me. I'm like, this is Wendell. It still is. Yeah. But when I saw that, I was like, and back then, I remember a couple years ago, maybe, I don't know, like I said, I might have been in my 40s then, because it seemed like about 10, 12 years, I was like, we started having early morning I just wanted some wisdom. I'm like, wow, I'm among all this greatness, a man that changed lives. Y'all remember the chokehold law and all this stuff that he literally impacted legislation and we have the freedoms that we have now. We have the laws that you change, because that's what they do up the north is make laws and pass laws and all of that. And we have all of that and him chairing education. I'm like, wow, he been in my midst for decades and take advantage of this wisdom. That's why I'm so excited. We do this now at your age. I let about 20, 30 years pass without just sitting at his feet and grabbing some of this wisdom that he can pass down to you. Can you imagine if I started doing that when I was your age, asking questions and light bulbs go off and getting that wisdom? It's just powerful, because knowledge is power. Y'all heard that saying, knowledge is power. In fact, there's a scripture that say without what? People perish for lack of what? Lack of knowledge. When you get that knowledge, understanding, and wisdom, it's like change your life. And decade, here it is right in front of me. And I'm like, dang, there go one. I got excited. I started taking pictures. There he go. If my head was down at that point, it got up. I'm like, I know this man, and he done changed this whole state. So I was so proud. So proud.
And another thing with the guns, we are just a country that no other country like ours just have this affection with guns. It's like I had a bill once that said you can have as many guns as you want, but you must lock them up and keep them out of reach of children. And the NRA, National Rifle Association, they came in and killed that. I'm like, why? Why? I don't know. I'm still baffled by it.
Wow. You got a question.
So it's different reading about it in books and stuff about Martin Luther King and the things that he did. You said that you met him in person. And what was that like? Because I've never had a conversation with somebody that's actually like been with him and heard him.
Well, I guess he had a aura about him to me that was just it was just breathtaking. And his wife was the same way. And when we were trying to pass the national holiday and the state holiday, I spent 13 days with Greta Scott King. And we went around we went around the Southwest. And she gave me his acceptance speech when he won the Nobel Peace Prize. She gave me his Bible, personal Bible, and a lot of artifacts. So I became really close to the family. And being 14 when I met him, and then to be able to work, he got killed in 19.
April 4th.
April 4th. It's like that impact of meeting him, as strong as he was, like, just I'm still stuck with it. I just can't get over it. So I mean, he lived again. He's lived 39 years old. We've been trying to honor him here in Vegas for 43 years, longer than he lived. So there has to be people who are pushing and fighting for against those who want to do wrong and hate. You got to be a force out there to say, hey, we got to start generating more peace and love with people. And you know, I got caught up in that, and I'll always be.
Tell Wendell what school you went to, what you told, because Wendell I'm sure knew the person whose school you went. Tell Wendell what school you went to, what you told me. I'm the same person. Same person who just asked that question.
School, like high
What
school?
you told me last week. No, the elementary school you went to, and I
Oh
said,
yeah, I went to Mabel Hogart.
Oh, hold on,
And
man.
I was second year.
I'm only like 5 minutes from home. So I go,
Yeah.
So I gotta get it.
yeah, that's what I'm
I went there, my sister went there, and my brother went there. All three of us went. Yeah.
Yeah, all that.
Well, they didn't have as many when I went there. They just had the little animal room. Now they have like a whole farm.
So when
They got.
so you're in college, right?
Yeah.
So when did you go to elementary school? Like how?
Oh, yes.
Like what? 15 years. Well,
So what is it? 10 years ago.
yeah, the old school was there then.
They yeah.
See, Mabel Hogart was built in 1954. So that's another example. You know, look what you had compared to what kids had in now. It's unbelievable. It's packed.
I go see in the hallways.
Right. Exactly.
question.
What's your favorite, like, what is like the best law or something that you passed in legislation?
I can't really say because some people who lived in my district gave me legislation to introduce for them. So it may have seemed sort of minute to me or to others, but it was important to them. So it became important to me that it did pass because they wanted it passed. You know, I did, that was a lot. I mean, 20 years or so, but we did textbook laws. We gave $1 million for breast cancer, things like that, domestic violence. I mean, it goes on and on. I'm proud of all of them, even the smallest one.
Okay, my second question was, what did you find was the hardest thing while trying to pass some legislation?
Well, you're dealing with all kinds of people. So we have what's called a citizens legislature in the past. So they're everyday citizens. So I was the first teacher ever elected. So I asked the speaker at that time, could I serve on the education committee? And he goes, I don't think a teacher should be on the education committee. I'm like,
What?
yeah. So you had lawyers on the judiciary committee. You had labor leaders on labor committees. So it's it's like a challenge all the time. And what it is, and to me, the legislature is like cramming for exams every day for 120 days. You got to convince others, all these other people, to believe you're trying to do. But you can make some changes. It's rewarding.
Did you ever like get like really a lot of friends from that?
Pardon me?
Did you get like a lot of friends from that?
I got some. I have some that we're still very close friends. Like my roommates when I was there, like we still get together every time. He became one of my roommates was he was a lawyer. He became a judge. Now he runs a class at UNLV law school. We're close friends because we start out like anything else. Like when you're in high school, the people you connect with as freshmen, you tend to kind of stay with them. I have a lot of friends.
Yes, never.
That's okay.
You know, younger, middle school and high school, a lot more politics and stuff like that. If someone would want to get that field, what would they study? Where would they go?
First, and from there you look at different entities in the community. You should find teams or how many Boy Scout troops how many senior what's facing the seniors, working people, and you look all over that's the area where you live, and you attack. It's like it's strange. I'm trying to vote my typewriter. Like the first parade I was trying to do, I wrote the letter, manual typewriter with the ribbon. You guys might have seen them.
I remember the.
Had a ribbon on it. It was taken,
Pull it
put a piece
out.
of white out.
And then sometimes have
Yeah,
a
look,
razor. Days. Any more questions? This has been so rich. We're so excited that you take some time out, invest in this generation.
I'm watching.
You gonna watch from?
See them somewhere.
You be like, I know them.
Yeah.
And then he'd be like, I met her. I
Right.
met him. He'd be like, I know him. You see that wall? There she goes. There she goes. There you go. They go Madison.
Right.
And they go Madison. So Gary, you gonna take us on home from our? We still live broadcasting. You take us on home.
Well, guys, thank you, Wendell.
Thank you.
Our questions were great. Just hearing everybody's their insights, Coach D, quack, thinking, questions, choices. Teach that to your kids. It's really helpful. For Mr. Williams for having us, inviting us here, just sharing your knowledge with us. We have so diverse in this group in institution, which is something Coach D raised about. Same thing that senior executives have raised about, and faculty we have here, the different skill sets we have is very important. And not knowledge and wisdom can carry along anything you do.
See, I wish you guys came when school was open because they're cleaning and getting ready for the school year. But one thing we did, we had like 5 percent of PTA. So we opened parent everything the teachers got, parents got. They can come and sit. Our parent group was like 5, 8.
Oh, wow.
So one of the biggest problems in education is teachers just don't stay. So the teachers turn off in this school is we open a child care center. So if you work here, custodian, cafeteria worker, teacher, whatever, if you have children, you can bring your children to school with you and they have 50. You don't have to run all over town looking for a child care center, paying that money, none of that stuff. So our teacher retention rate just went up because they save money, and psychologically for the child and for the teacher, even though that child is in our preschool and our daycare, he knows mama's somewhere on this campus, or daddy's somewhere on this campus. So you at lunch, you can actually go have lunch with your kid right here on campus. So our teachers didn't leave. You can't get teachers to leave now. They stay. So you have to think about how you can help your situation and do that.
That's
So I hope we can come one time, we can do a tour.
yeah. And a lot of them are going back to out of state to their schools or their places. That's why we normally do it in the summer. But maybe because usually college gets out before. So maybe when they come home, as soon as they come home from school, we get them first instead of at the end.
Yeah, we have a lot of seniors in the area whose homes are older, and like in the winter, cold air just comes through. In the summer, it does cool. We have a group called Boys in Bow Ties, and what they do, they learn from Southwest Gas and Nevada Power how to do window stripping. And
Oh wow!
yeah, so they go out and volunteer that. We have a community garden here, and we give all the food to seniors and surrounding families.
Wow!
Gotta help somebody.
Oh, that's good. Y'all
Gotta help somebody.
doing it. That's how we just here. She got the first.
So you have a good amount of volunteer programs here, is that correct?
Yeah, never enough.
And so how do you start those up? Do people come to you and pitch it, or do you reach out to the team?
We reach out, and what really works is if they have an idea of things they want to do, they have a passion for it, and we let them do it. You know, we give, like Mr. Lee mentioned, the food pantry we have here. We give away food every single day. All they got to do is drive their cars up and go to them every day.
Wow. That's awesome.
So when the school opened in 1953, we had been at the bottom academically all these years, and most of our students come from right over at Walnut Manor housing right there. So when we rebuilt the school a year later, we went to Nashville, Tennessee, and got the award for the highest ranking Title I academic school in Nevada. So sure, you give people something that they can appreciate.
Wow.
It's like giving you an old worn out bicycle for a new.
It's not really a question, but I find it really admirable how you know small issues that like teachers are dealing with, like being in education yourself before, and you finding those solutions. Something so small like childcare, that is a really big issue for people, and just like getting a job, but like then wasting your money on childcare can be a really big deal. So I
Save
find
a
it
lot
just
of
really
money.
admirable. Yeah.
And you got to run around town and try to get to work.
Yeah.
So another one I did was because it became a big issue, especially in the casino industry. We give parents 8 hours per semester per child off of work without any penalties to go visit the school. So we had a lot of people having to make a decision: do I go to school and check on my kid, or do I lose my job, or do I just go to work? So you shouldn't have to make those decisions. If you're a parent, you shouldn't have to make those decisions. So if you get your job and you don't come here, and the kids are gonna say, "Yo, your mom will never come here." Then they start getting picked on.
That's true.
Well, I guess with that said, thank you, Mr. Williams, for having us once again. We admire you, your inspiration to everyone in here. We thank you guys as the audience for joining us today at the elementary school. If you ever get a chance, I don't know if Mr. Williams is here all the time, but come down, check out the school. This, like he said before, it's one of the second story, which I didn't know. I was like, that's actually pretty interesting. Yep. My elementary school was a one story. And it's like I walked down the hall. I was like, oh my gosh, this is wild. Yeah. So yeah, just compared to like our elementary school is a pretty cool campus. So come on down, show support.
And spread the word about the Better Help Desk.
Oh,
Best thing going.
100%.
Yeah.
Ages 16 to 24.
That's right.
Come learn about cybersecurity. It's the future.
Woo. Everybody wave at the camera. Everybody wave at the camera. Woo. Signing off. All right.